Okay, let's go into my quilt studio. Right here on the left is my long arm. And this is a Knowlting's long arm. I've had it a little over a year. And I've got a couple quilts on there. Let's see. Here I have a bookshelf with some books and then some of my AccuQuilt dies. Again, around. And here's my room. It's a big room. I love it. Come around again. And we are back to the table. And my pride and joy is this cutting table, work surface. This was Builder Bob's. He had it in his woodworking shop. And when he quit woodworking, he gave it to me, cut the height down so it was perfect height for me. And this is what I use for my cutting table. Wonderful. Over here, I have my ironing station. And this was a desk of my daughter's that she didn't want anymore. And Builder Bob put wheels on the bottom of it so I could move it around the room. He also put a plywood board down that I have batting in and covered. But now I'm using the wool pad all the time. I really like that. And I use my old iron. I have an Aliso iron coming again. My other one quit working, so they are sending me a new one. Clappers, those are fantastic for pressing your seams. Over here, I have another 1591 Singer sewing machine. This one I pretty much just use for filling my bobbins. The one that I sew with, the bobbin, it needs a part replaced, and it was just easier to pick up another machine. I have pegboards from IKEA on the walls. These are cabinets from IKEA. And then my vintage 1591 Singer is in its original cabinet, but I painted it white. Behind my sewing machine, I have two tables. They're plastic ones that you get like at Menards. And they're just perfect for when I'm doing a big quilt. And I've got my light over the top, which is just wonderful. Over here, I have an Eversewn Sparrow 25 sewing machine, and it does beautiful applique. I don't use it a lot. I use it more for piecing together my batting, and like I said, some applique. Always nice to have a little refrigerator and a coffee pot in your quilt studio. And dog treats. Gotta have dog treats. Over here, this is my AccuQuilt electric Go cutter. And then Builder Bob made me a stand to hold the dies, which now they are creating. AccuQuilt has just come out with a tabletop like that. So this is wonderful. And I'll be using the Dresden die in Island Boutique Challenge in October. These came from IKEA. You can't get them anymore. I think they've got something similar. I don't know. There's odds and ends in there. I have one bin is for Rusty. Then I have a lot of boutiques in there. Over here, I have another 1591 Singer sewing machine. And this one, I've got it set up with black thread, just because I can. And there's Rusty. Hi, buddy. On this side of the room, there's a bathroom. rusty. And this is my wall with my batik fabrics, some storage system from IKEA, my featherweight sewing machine. It's just kind of there to look at, but I do use it occasionally. And then on the wall, I've been doing sublimation printing and taking my quilts that I have made and printing it on 100% polyester fabric and then putting interfacing on the back. And I think it's a neat way to showcase my quilts on a wall. There's that little Fat Quarter Shop sampler tote that I just got in one of their sampler box. And all of my batiks. And then some AccuQuilt dies down there. In the drawers, it varies. This is the fabrics that I will be using in September for a blog hop for Island Batik. Leftovers, some of their solids and blenders. Can't show you that one. Most of this is just the blenders that are different colors. This was left over from my Quilt Town quilt for Missouri Star Quilt Company. And I still want to do something with all of the salvage ends, but I haven't done it yet. Oh, and this is when I will do a bag for a blog hop. Or no, it's not a blog hop. I think I do this one October, November. I don't know. This is going to be a challenge. This drawer is Stash Builders. As you can see, I've got quite a few of them. But they come in handy when you want just fabric. Here are my warm colors. I've also got stencils down there for quilting, which I really don't use. Here are some of my new fabrics from Island Batik. Baskets that I've made. And you can kind of scan around the room. My table, I've got different mats on it. Like I said, I love this table. Also down below, there is storage. These are some, I don't even know what's in a lot of them. There's thread, there's different projects that I've started before. Mostly it's like strips of fabric and things over here. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go through and see what all is in there. But I love these containers. Oh, there's 2.5-inch strips of batiks. But you can see it's just a great place to store them under here. This is wool fabrics. I keep thinking I'm going to do something else with wool and just haven't gotten around to it. This is Martelli has a cutting board that spins. Really nice to work with. That was my project for this month. I'm just giving you a quick look. Here on this side, I've got bins, and they are holding my scraps. I do 1.5-inch, 2-inch, 2.5-inch of batiks, 1.5, 2-inch, 2.5-inch of cotton. Then I do 2.5-inch strips of batiks, 5-inch squares of batiks, and the same thing on cotton. And you can see this is where I just put them in there. Excuse me, 1 inch, 1.5 inch. I've got a couple more cutting boards down there in case I need them. Under my long arm, there is some batting. I have batting in the other room also. I'm still learning how to use my long arm. So I have all these papers over here that when I get stuck on something, I can look and see what I need to do. My rulers. I have a lot of rulers here. Bob made me this stand. and I really like it. It also opens. I'm not sure what's in there. Not too much of anything. And then some of my patterns. And you can see the AccuQuilt dies on the shelf here. It's a big room, and I love it. What I like is I don't like to sit for very long. So when I sew over here, then when I want to iron, I get up from that stool, come over here, I press, and then I come over here to do any trimming or cutting, and then go back. And it just works for me. It gives me a little bit of exercise. We have a guest bedroom down here. So if somebody comes to stay, we have 2 twin beds in here. And I also use the beds to show my quilts. As you can see, there is the Stacks quilt that I just made with the hometown fabrics from Missouri Star Quilt Company. I have my Cricut heat press down here. My Cricut is upstairs in my office. And then I've got another little place here that I can work, and I've been doing, this is all AI and then sublimation on polyester fabric. Let's open up these doors. These are quilts, older quilts. At some point, I will get them quilted when I have time. I have a Cricut mug maker, hats, vinyl, and lots of AccuQuilt dies. Got some down here too. Just a little bit of everything in here. Have you noticed the one thing I don't have? I know I've got a blank wall over here, but it had things on it before and I've just taken it down. But otherwise, in my studio, I do not have a design wall other than this portable one that I have. Normally, I've always had a big design wall. I missed my sliding design wall that I had down on the river that Builder Bob made, and behind it was storage. So I really don't have a wall here that I want to give up for a design wall. So what I do is I've got this, and it's a piece of your insulation or your board, and I can just pull it out and use it, and it works fine. These stools are wonderful. I've got a gray one here, I've got a white one over here, and then I bought a black one for Bob to have up in his garage. They're great. Leftover batting is down here from projects. So sampler box, some other things, water, and some more rulers. This is giving you a look at my room from standing in the guest bedroom. And then we go outside, go out on the patio. As you can see, I've been cutting some flowers. These are straw flowers that I have. Here's a view out on the patio. And our tomatoes are plants in the garden. I cannot sew with a sewing machine up against a wall. It just doesn't work for me. So for me, I like to sit here. I can look outside. I can see what's going on. And it just makes me happy.